When he is not on the Bruin Insider Show, you're going to find UCLA wide receiver J.Michael Sturdivant in the end zone where he has made a staycation there. And he joins us for the fun on the Bruin Insider Show for Nick Cope. I'm Brian Fenley. J.Mike, thanks so much for doing this. I know this is the first time for you on the show, but as a showman on the field, I think we're going to have a lot of fun today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, speed is one of the things that people know you for on the field.
Yeah.
How fast have you been clocked? And what does it take to get that speedy?
Like, you talking about like on a track or 40-yard dash?
The fastest wherever. It could be on the track, 40-yard dash. The highest speed that you've ever been clocked.
Since here, I clocked in at 23 miles an hour over the off season. That was the fastest I've ever ran, like miles per hour wise, that I've clocked. So it was a pretty cool moment. But speed is really during like quarantine. I trained a lot back home on just speed because that's like all you could do. So ever since then, that's when I see my times in track elevate a lot. And then since then, I've just been consistently trying to get faster every year. And my senior year ran a 10.3, and then since then I knew I was pretty fast. So then I clocked in at 23 miles an hour, so I know I'm going in the right direction.
There's speed when you're just running on a straight line. There's also game speed.
Yeah.
How do you kind of define the two, and how does one get faster at game speed versus that straight line speed?
Really, it's just you got to practice running fast. So every day at practice, I try to run the fastest I can. You know, it gets a little tiring every once in a while, but the only way to practice getting fast is to practice fast. So running all the routes I can, because there's a lot of deception that comes in the routes, so you can't run everything full speed. But when you have the chance, you just got to try and take off and separate. So that's how I practice every day on it.
The ability for you to separate, the ability for you to define and distinguish, as Nick was saying, the speed, let's say on the practice field, on a track, and then what happens in a game. But what about how important it is to have the quick twitch muscles, the reflexes going, the stop and start, and what that takes out of you in terms of how important that is to be the player you are on the field?
Yeah, I mean, really, you just got to practice at it. You don't get better at it if you just wake up and hope you still have it. You got to practice it and use the muscles every day, because if you stop using them, you're going to lose them. So I try every day to use everything I can.
Your parents were great athletes.
Yeah,
Dad
definitely.
played football, and your mom track and field. She's
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer at Bradley. I saw that. So how did they influence and help guide your upbringing?
Really, it's just I was competitive since a kid, and once I started to understand like what athletics were, I realized that my parents were both pretty good at it. So I always wanted to be better than both of them. And my mom, I remember, she was the one that loved track. So she was, as a young kid, she was forcing us to run track every summer, and it got hot and I hated it. But she had told me like her times, I had seen them, so of course I wanted to be faster than my mom. So, and then I got faster than, because she was really good at the 400, and that was my best race kind of in like middle school list. So I was really, and it was a hard race, so I was really just trying to beat my mom at that. And then my dad, he played the same position, made it to the league. So I've always just been wanting to be better than him. So it's really just a competitive edge that they put into me at such a young age. And then it goes to my siblings as well.
As you become a better athlete and are, I would say, than your parents, how do they handle that, knowing that you have surpassed them?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're mad. I mean,
that's probably their goal.
That's what
I
I'm
would
saying.
think.
That's what
right?
I'm saying. They're trying to push me to be better than they ever were. So I'm very thankful to have parents that look at me like that and try and push me to the best I can every day, and have siblings that support me along the way as I support them as well and what they're doing. So I mean, it's really just a positive household, and I'm glad that they're pushing me to be the best that I can be.
So along those same lines, when was the first time you can remember thinking, I've got a chance to play this game at a high level?
I'll say I was playing defensive end for the Dell Lamb Saints. So if you know, you know. But I caught a pick six against like our rivals, and I was just like separating from everyone. That's when I started to feel like I was good. And then I went out to FBU campus, Football University. That was a little camp series that was going on. And then
so how old are you roughly around this time?
I think this is sixth grade.
Okay.
I think I'm in sixth grade. And I went to a prospect camp, and I was doing pretty good. And that was the first time someone like pulled me to the side during camp, took a picture of me, and then posted like an article about me. So I was like, okay, I feel like I'm going in the right direction. So maybe I can go somewhere with this. And then ever since then, I've had confidence and just seen it.
UCLA wide receiver J.Michael Sturdivant joining us on the Bruin Insider Show for Nick Cope. I'm Brian Fenley. So reminiscing a little bit about your younger side of being a player, and now that you have so much more of an intelligence of the game, When you look back at some of the first times that you put on pads and you put on a helmet and maybe somebody took some video of that, what could the older, more mature J.Mike now coach and tell the younger version of you who was just starting to play on the field?
I would definitely say my dad told me this all the time, is just like work on your craft, because I was a late bloomer. Like definitely my freshman year of high school, I think I was like 5'10", 150. So I was a super small kid, and like I had seen people that hit puberty a lot earlier than me, and like they were getting all the attention and all that stuff. So I was like, bro, I'm never gonna be that big. And I remember we went to Virginia Tech Syracuse game at Syracuse, and I was on the sideline, and all these people were walking past me in these pads. They looked like mannequins, like they're huge compared to me. So I was like, I don't know if I could play with these guys because they're so much bigger. My dad kept telling me I was gonna be bigger, faster, stronger than them, and then I just worked on my craft every day, and then the size came with it. So now I got the skills and the size, and I feel like the younger me just needed that confidence that he was going to make it.
And working on that craft, was there a receiver when you were younger, that whether they were in the league or that you kind of looked up to, or that who's your favorite receiver even potentially?
Growing up, I really liked Jarvis Landry because I liked the way he played the game. And then I forgot his name, but he was at the time he was #1 at Virginia Tech. And he went to the Dolphins for a little bit, but I forgot his name. But that was the guy who walked past me, and like I was looking up to him as like a little kid, and my dad told me I was gonna be bigger, faster, stronger than him. So I think I am now. He was like 6 foot at the time, so I don't know. It was just
Dad knew.
Yeah, I guess he did. He had the eyes. So
you mentioned, J.Mike, the late growth spurt and how that fueled your motivation.
Yeah.
When you size up everything that you're thinking about that motivates you to be the best, I would think one of those things would be the late growth spurt, and how you said there were others that were sort of growing and building and bulking up faster than you. But beyond that, what else is the why behind you playing and why you want to take this game to the next level?
Because I know I can, and I believe my parents put me in a great position to succeed, and they both made it out of very tough situations growing up and put me in a very good living situation like growing up. So I want to prove to myself that I can do what they did, and that I'm not a person that just has handouts, and I can go make it on my own and make a name for myself. So really, it's just as a young kid, a lot of people wanted to say that like I had it easy, but I want to like prove to myself that I can make it out just like my parents did.
Growing up in Texas, coming out west, going to Cal, and then now ending up here at UCLA. What led you out west to come this way?
Well, I grew up in Kansas, so it was really nothing like L.A., California was always like cool to me because like it was a whole bunch of new stuff that Kansas didn't really have to offer. And then I moved to Texas, and it was kind of like, okay, this is a little bigger city, but I always wanted to be in California. And college, like living out here for free and being able to play like pro-style offense football is something that I always wanted to do. So now I'm just blessed to be in California for free and just living out the dream. For sure.
Living out the dream and living out the LA lifestyle. But what about it are you cherishing the most?
The weather. Like, it's about to be November and it looks like this outside, so that's something that's crazy. But something I don't like is the parking situation. The apartments we live in have absolutely no parking. I've paid so much in parking ticket fines. I think I have a parking ticket
It's
right
a
now.
rite of passage.
Yeah, my mom is going to be mad at me right now because I got a parking ticket. But that's all right.
Have you had a chance? I know you've seen the throwbacks. Have you tried one on? Are you excited to get to put those on this weekend?
Yeah, I actually did try because we all had to try them on like to make sure they fit.
Okay.
Man, I got the cleats on right now. I don't know if we showed them yet, but I don't want to leak anything if we did. But I really like these cleats. But I think it's gonna be a nice little look. I think it will be.
Yeah, when the lights come down, Brian, that's good. They're gonna pop so well there in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
That game Saturday against Colorado, a sellout. Last question for me, J.Mike Sturdivant, UCLA wide receiver, joining us on the Bruin Insider Show. The pregame ritual for you, how much of it is a routine that you're doing certain things every time before a game? How much of that is there a continuity and a consistency to getting yourself in the mind and the body shape for kickoff?
I just take a lap around the entire field. I walk the edge of everything and just vision myself making plays on the field. And I walk on the same spot every time. I leave at the same spot every time, and then I walk around the goalpost. So that's kind of like a little mental thing to get collected and envision myself making plays before they happen. So and then just go warm up and from there. But that's the one main thing that I got to get before every game.
As these quarterbacks compete and have been competing throughout the year, they're cycling in, getting their reps. What's the best thing you can do as a receiver to help them?
Communication and running everything full speeds and getting the timing down, because that's really all this game is about, because you can't beat timing when it comes game time. So really just working on everything I can to make it easier on the quarterbacks and playing the best I can to make everything click a lot faster.
His catches are viral on social media. How he made that catch in the end zone against Washington State, unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, go on socials. Just type in J.Mike Sturdivant, Washington State, and prepare to be amazed. We're amazed by your story, and we are inspired by your story. J.Mike here on the Bruin Insider Show. For Nick Cope, I'm Brian Fenley. Thanks so much for doing this with us.
This is fantastic. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.